Welcome to Innovating Clinical Trials, the podcast designed for clinical research professionals eager to deepen their understanding of clinical trials through concise, insightful segments. Join your hosts, Eves and Ted Trafford, as they uncover the core issues in clinical research, reflect on the industry, and challenge conventional wisdom.
I have a new clinical trial analogy for you.
Go for it.
So here we go. We're going to dive in. So this is my description of how the clinical trials industry would approach baking the best bread you could bake.
Amazing. I love it.
So here we go. So the bake shop owner would send out a job posting for a baker, but wouldn't tell them the type of bread that they'd be baking. The fastest baker to respond would get the job. After they were hired, the baker would be informed that they'd have to pay for some of the ingredients themselves, and that would come out of the baker's salary. When the baker asked for more money to cover the expenses, the owner would mumble something about fair market value and refuse to cover the additional costs. The owner would hire a company to supply the remaining ingredients, but the ingredients would often arrive late, or the wrong ingredient would be sent instead. The owner promised to fully stock the bakery with everything the baker would need to bake bread. But the baker would soon discover that the mixer didn't work. It would take 4 to 6 weeks to get a replacement. And in the meantime, the baker would have to mix by hand. So, to solve the problem, without getting the baker's input, the owner would hire a vendor to install a sophisticated computer and robotic baking system to streamline the baking process and enable the baker to make 3 times as much bread every day. However, of course, the company that designed the system had never consulted with a baker, and the assembly line added the ingredients in the wrong order. It also had different components that would stop working every day, and the baker would spend hours on the phone with IT support. The owner would then hire an advertising agency to bring in customers, and they'd be lined up out the door even though the baker didn't have the ingredients to make bread that day. Customers would get frustrated and leave, and the owner would grill the baker on why they didn't sell any bread that day. The owner would require the baker to draft a plan to get and keep customers, but couldn't guarantee that ingredients would arrive on time, and refused to address the problems with the automated assembly line. The owner would require the baker to send weekly sales reports even though the owner had access to the bakery's financial system and could review them directly. Finally, the owner would hire a consultant to find out why they weren't selling more bread and would pay the consultant 10 times what the baker's getting paid. The consultant would tell the bake shop owner that the problem was the baker and that they needed to find a different one. Even though the baker was incredibly talented, having had such a terrible experience, the baker would stop baking bread forever. And we wonder why physicians participate in one clinical trial and never do another.
That was amazing. That was absolute. I was chuckling the whole time through. That was absolutely spot on, Ted. Firstly,
thanks,
how the hell do you come up with these? This is genius.
Oh well, thank you. It's funny that I sit down and I think about the issues that sites face in clinical trials, and then just think about the absurdity of some of the issues, like the whole concept in our industry that happens over and over again, where clinical trial sponsors see an issue in clinical trials and they will get together, they will collaborate together and try and come up with solutions, and sometimes spend a ridiculous amount of money on these solutions, and never get clinical trial sites to give input.
Yeah.
And then wonder why the sites hate the solution that they propose.
Yeah.
And so it's it comes back to just the how separate the different groups are in clinical trials.
Yeah.
And how much we need to come together.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to start tackling some of the big issues like low enrollment in clinical trials, it can't be done by one group.
No.
We have to come together. And it because the challenges are so different from site to site and indication to indication, therapeutic area to therapeutic area. This needs to be done on a really big scale. It can't be done by a few people.
Yeah.
And so trying to solve problems in isolation, yeah. And we're at a point in our industry where we're losing clinical trial sites. We have sites that are just retiring or closing their doors because it's not financially viable anymore, and we make it really, really hard for new clinical trial sites to get into the industry. We do not have a good support system to engage and encourage and develop new investigators. And so, yeah, the hurdles we throw in front of them are just continuous. Yeah, so I don't know how these things come to me. It just, sometimes it's an image. I told the story to you previously about the marathon.
Yeah.
I just had this image of somebody, running a clinical trials race and people throwing stuff in front of them continuously. So sometimes, yeah, it literally comes out of an image and then build the story around that.
That's great. Yeah, I wish I was that creative. I'm a bit more. I like my frameworks and my my mental models. It's I'm gonna have to try and take a leaf out of your book and try and get a bit more creative.
Dive in and try it. You got nothing to lose. I won't laugh at you. I won't laugh at you if it doesn't. Well, maybe I will.
Yeah. I won't be doing another one. Just like the docs.
Start with a poem or a song. Really put yourself out there.
Yeah. Ted, that was amazing. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, man.